Joined by John Thompson III, head coach of the Georgetown Hoyas. Georgetown with a 79-72 win over the Syracuse Orange in non-conference play. And first of all, Coach, thank you so very much for joining us. How weird is that to hear that, Syracuse-Georgetown in non-conference play?
I know, that is, it's borderline unsettling, but it is what it is. They decide to leave, but it doesn't take away or detract from the game. It is still Georgetown-Syracuse. It's still a lot of history. And the fact that they're no longer in our conference, the fact that we're going to play once a year instead of twice, at least twice a year, doesn't change anything.
The atmosphere, at least from the students who may not have, really lived the Georgetown-Syracuse rivalry, was just as intense as all the Syracuse-Georgetown games at the Capitol Center. So just how big was the crowd, and just how, not surprised, but how, I guess gratifying were you that the crowd was just as charged up for this game as any other Syracuse-Georgetown game? Capitol
Center, you took it back, huh?
I did.
I think they understand. They understand. I used this the other day. It's like, when you have a young Hatfield that's born, he knows he doesn't like the McCoys. And so the fact that they haven't actually been a part of the battles, the wars, they understand, our students, our fans, that it's Georgetown, Syracuse. Just like I'm sure the same thing will be in reverse when we go up to the Dome next year. I'm sure they're 30,000 strong, even though it may be their first Georgetown Syracuse experience. They will understand what it's all about. So
30,000 little McCoys then at Syracuse.
I think, was I Hatfield or was I McCoy?
You mentioned Hatfield.
Okay, exactly.
The team shot 48% in the game, but throughout the entire game, your team had so many good looks. Even the shots that didn't go in were good looks. What was the key in being able to get those good looks? You had a lot of penetration. You had a lot of touches inside. What was the key to really get all those good looks?
Yeah, I think our guys did a good job of sharing the game and moving the ball and understanding. They paid attention the last couple of days in scout. You'd love to say that they always pay attention, but they really paid attention in how we wanted to attack the zone. When we looked bad is when we all of a sudden got stagnant and stopped moving bodies, stopped moving the ball, didn't set good screens. And so, it's hard that you want to get the ball into the teeth of their zone, but they make it hard to get there. And then once you get it in there, you have to be poised. You have, because you're going to have arms and legs slapping, and you have to get it in there and understand. Most of the time, that's a passing position. Most of the time, with chaos around you, and so you're going to be under duress in there. And I thought our guys did a good job of handling, when we got in, handling it, taking their time, pivoting, and eventually realizing who is open or am I open. And so then they adjusted it, which they always do. I showed our guys and told our guys the last time we played them 3 years ago now, we played them 3 times. Up in the Dome, down here, then in the Garden. And each time the zone was dramatically different in how they played it. And so they figure out what you're trying to do, then they adjust. And then we have to be able to make adjustments to their adjustments. And that's the cat and mouse game of going against Syracuse's zone. And for the most, and most of it is the kids have to make basketball plays and make reads. It's not, you can't draw up and script. Some teams, some defenses, as a coach, you can sit there and, I know if we do this, and this, we're going to get that. They just have to play and rely on the instincts, and I thought they did a good job.
I know you're just now ending the first quarter of the season, and I know it's kind of hard to really evaluate your team now compared to where you were in the game against Radford. But any changes, any improvements, or anything you really want to work on starting from that Radford game to now, any improvements that you see?
I think our defense is better now than it was then, and I think that's where we still need the most growth. I think our defense for most of the day today was good, but that's where, we are not an elite level defensive team yet. We have the potential to get there, but a lot of blood, sweat, and tears has to go into that, and the guys have to understand that.
Any worries about, you talked about the scouting report and all the times that you saw Syracuse and told your players, this is 3 years ago. And 4 years ago, any worries that scouting report from 3-4 years ago may not apply to this game because it was so long ago compared to playing conference teams and you see them every single year?
Yeah, but so maybe I misspoke. I mean, we reviewed those 3 games, but we also have reviewed every game they played this year.
Okay.
So it's not like we just relied on our past games. So no, I was not worried about that. I felt, and the staff felt, and the players felt very comfortable with what we had to do. Now, understanding what you have to do, then being able to execute it is not always easy, but we knew what we had to do.
Coach Thompson, thank you so very much once again for putting up with the fact that I went to Syracuse University, and thank you so very much for the interview.
You're welcome.